Hello everyone, welcome to yet another video of the series where I would be solving lead code questions. So this is problem number 392 is sequence. The difficulty level of this problem is easy and yep, let's begin to understand and read the question first. So given two strings s and t, return true if s is a substring of t or false if otherwise. A subsequence of a string is a new string that is formed from the original string by deleting some can be none of the characters without disturbing the relative position of the remaining characters. That is ACE is a subsequence of ABCDE while AEC is not. So what this question is trying to say is we would be given two variables which is S and T. We have to find if S is a subsequence of T or not. Now what is a subsequence? A subsequence is basically a string that is formed from the main string without uh, changing the relative position of the characters. We have to return true if the substring that has been formed is a subsequence. Otherwise, we have to just return false. So, how would we identify if the string is a subsequence or not? So, if you can see the example here, ACE is a subsequence of A, B, C, D, E. So, A, C, and E. The position of ACE has not been changed. In this main string, C comes after A and E comes after E. In this string, also, C comes after A and E comes after C. While on the other hand, AEC is not a subsequence because the relative position of E and C has been changed. Let us look at other examples. So, ABC is a subsequence of AHBGDC. This is because A, B, and C are taken from here and the relative positions have not been changed. Again, let's look at example number 2. AXC is not a subsequence of AHBGDC because X is not present in this string. So let's dig into the solution. In this function, we are getting S and T as described in the question. So S, we have to find if S is the subsequence of T or not. So what we will do is in our first line itself we'll check if S is present there or not. Also we'll check if S is equal to T or not. So if S is equals to T, we'll return true because obviously that is a subsequence of T because the relative positions have not been changed since both the strings are equal. Now what we'll do is we'll take three variables I, j and chars. I will store the length of the number, basically the number of characters or the count of characters that are present in the T string, which is our main string, and J will store the number of or the count of characters we have in the S string, and chars will store each element of the S string. So basically, if we'll go by the first example, J would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. J would be 6 minus 1, 5. Sorry, I would be 5. J would be 3 minus 1, 2. And S would contain A, comma B, comma C. Okay, now what I have done here is, so I'll first explain the logic. What we are going to do here is check if we'll evaluate each and every character of this T string and start to compare it with the last character or the last element of chars. If it is equal, we'll pop the last character from chars and we'll start evaluating the other characters if they match or not. So if they match, we'll decrease the I and j accordingly, and the moment this chars is empty, will return true. But if this chars does not become empty and the entire t string is exploited in this process of evaluating, we'll return false because we could not find the subsequence. So what I have done here is, I have taken a while loop where I'm checking if I is greater than equal to 0 or not. So this is basically checking if this t string, all the characters of this t string has been utilized for the evaluation or not. So this while loop will keep going on until this 5 becomes a negative number. So in our first condition, we are checking if t at I, basically if c is equal to chars at j, if c is equal to c here. So first condition is met, we'll do chars dot pop, we'll remove the last character from here and we'll decrease the value of j. So earlier j was 2, now j is 1. Then we'll check if chars dot length is equals to 0 or not. So chars dot length is definitely not equal to 0. So we won't go inside this, and we'll decrease the value of I because one iteration, basically the last character of this string has been already taken into consideration. So we'll move to the next element from the last. So now we'll check if d is equal to b or not. So since it is not equal to b, we won't go inside this. Again, it will check if chars dot length is equals to 0 or not. It's not, so we'll go and execute I minus minus. Now the value of I is 3. We'll check if g is equals to b or not. It's not fulfilling the first condition. Again, it's not fulfilling the second condition. We'll decrease the value of I. Now it's 2. Okay, now we'll check if b is equals to this b or not. It is equal. We'll go inside this condition, we'll do chars dot pop, only a will be left. We'll decrease the value of j, so this will become 0, and we'll check if chars dot length is equals to 0 or not. It's not, so we'll go ahead and decrease the value of I. Now I becomes 1. We'll check if h is equals to this value or not. It's not, so we won't go inside this. Again, we'll check chars dot length is equals to 0 or not. So chars dot length is not equal to 0. We'll go ahead and we'll decrease the value of I. I now becomes 0. We'll check if t at I, so t at I is a, is equals to chars at j or not. So it is equal. We'll pop the character and we'll decrease the value of j. Then we'll come here, we'll see if chars dot length is equals to 0 or not. So now the now it becomes empty. So the chars dot length is equals to 0. We'll return true because we this s is a substring, a subsequence of t, that because it was a subsequence, our chars became 0. And yep, that is how we found if our s is a subsequence or not. So we'll return true. If our case would have been this, chars would never have been 0, chars dot length would have never been 0. We would have came out of this while loop and we would have returned false. So this is how we'll solve this is subsequence problem. Let me run the test again. I have already ran it before. So yeah, all the test cases have passed. Thank you.